Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Randy Lee. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics, still basking in the glow of a win over Texas A&M 13-10. Auburn's got a basketball game tonight. They'll take on Winthrop. We'll talk about that a little bit. Didn't have a chance to talk much about the South Florida game yesterday. We'll try to hit on that a little bit and preview the game tonight. Auburn hadn't played Winthrop in a while, I think 2017, if I looked that up right. Maybe the last time that they got together and played. Auburn won that game pretty handily. But Winthrop, 23-9 last year, 14-2 in the Big South, so they were a very good team last year, and I think they got, at least three or four of their top scorers back. So they got five guys that I think average double figures at least early in the season here. So it'll be a challenge. That's what Bruce said, and it's going to be a challenging out-of-conference schedule, as we said. So we'll talk about these things and much more. Obviously, talk about football. Still a lot of chatter out there about who's going to be Auburn's next head football coach. Maybe some, what's going on with that search. I mean, it's all rumor right now. It's all people talking about they know a guy that knows a guy, and they overheard a guy. And so, how much of that is credible? I don't know. But I think it's naive to think that there aren't discussions going on, and I mean serious discussions with prospective candidates out there. And I think we all know who we're talking about. So. We'll see what happens with that. No, you're not going to see anything official until the end of the season. But as I've said many times, I expect Auburn to name a head football coach either the day after or the day of. The day after or 2 days after the Iron Bowl. So it's a very important time. You're not going to see coaches hired in January much these days because of that early signing period in December, and now the portal entry date and all that kind of thing. So it's important to go ahead and get on with it. Some news, Iku Leota not going to be back next year. We figured that was probably going to be the case, but he was invited to the Senior Bowl, accepted that invitation. TJ Finley shutting it down for the year. Okay. Leota, Derek Hollow, and Papo Nehemiah Pritchard and DJ James all having an invitation to the Senior Bowl. So you go down through, you look at the roster. That's one of the things we've talked about for a while. But whoever is the next coach, he's going to take a look at this roster and he's going to say, next year, boy, I got some work I'm going to have to do immediately to try to enhance this roster to even give me a chance to be competitive next year. And that's going to be a big factor, I think.
Well, I think not only the early signing period for high school recruits, but the transfer portal. I think that's what December the 5th, that opens up. And that may be more important than the high school for this 1 year for Auburn. Now, I hope we get the coaching search right, but you got to piecemeal an offensive line together. We've had this discussion on this show. You said anywhere from 5 to 7 that Auburn needs to go out and get for the offensive line just to have a product that you can put out there next year that's competitive. Yeah. Now, you hope that if it's Lane Kiffin or if it's someone like him, then he can upgrade the talent level to the extreme that he did Ole Miss this year. And you ran through those numbers, Andy, and maybe you can spill those out there one more time. But the amount of 4 and 5 stars that he added to the roster through the transfer portal about doubled what they had. Was that right in a 1 year span?
It seemed like it was close. I mean, depending on which depends on which service you want to look at, but clearly, I mean, in positions of need, that roster was bolstered tremendously through the transfer portal. I can't remember the exact number that they brought in, but I want to say it was above 20, wasn't it?
I think so. I think that it got to right around Auburn, if not a few more. I want to say that they ended up with 36 on this roster, whereas they were around 15 or 16 before. So, I mean, he did – I don't want to call it a miracle, but that is the beauty of the transfer portal at this point. Andy, you can piecemeal a roster in a quick turnaround, and you can go out there and you can get some of the best. You know, I know it's probably not something that any Ole Miss fan wants to hear, but, you know, us on our program, because we cover high school athletics here in this state, we kept asking, why in the world's Auburn not over at Pike Road recruiting Quinshon Judkins? Why in the world are we up there in the broadcasting booth and we see Lane Kiffin sitting down there in the bleachers and then down on the sideline recruiting this kid who was already built like that last year, by the way. Right. I mean, this guy didn't steroid up and bulk up over the offseason. He was a big old mule out there running the football for Pike Road last year and won a state championship. And they keep going to that picture of Lane Kiffin sitting there by himself in the tough environment. And the question is, where are the rest of the in-state coaches that should be over there recruiting him? And they were nowhere to be found. But I saw a tweet this past week that said early Heisman predictions for next year. And it was, I'm sure, meant to be funny. But it had fifth on the list was Quinshon Judkins, Auburn University. And to factor in that actually could be the case with the way the transfer portal works, not saying that it will be, by no means, but it is a new day and age when you can pull that off, Andy.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the positives about the transfer portal is the fact that you can rebuild in a hurry. But going back to the Auburn roster, you look at it and we could run down, you know, specifically and you know, like say like, you know, Brandon Council and Austin Troxell and Killian Zaire and I think Brendan Coffey. Those guys, you know, we can guarantee that they won't be back next year. But just because you're a senior or just because you've given up or already taken advantage of your COVID year or whatever that is, Owen Papo, Derek Hall, Kobe Wooden, those guys, Iku Leota, we know those guys aren't going to be back. That's not – I mean, no matter who the coach is, that's the negative of the transfer portal. You don't know how many of those guys are going to be back regardless of what year they are. I mean, is it Dylan Brooks? He's gotten here to play a little bit here late. I mean, I just throw his name out there, not because I've heard anything, but you've already had several guys, Landon King and Tavares Dawson, enter the transfer portal. How many more are going to enter the transfer portal, no matter who you hire, just to say, you know what, I just need a fresh start?
And then you also add in what a great job Carnell's done up to this point. And let's just say he's not retained. You won't throw an X factor in the middle of the whole ordeal. I can't imagine that he won't be, but look, you got to throw it out there. You got to speculate. The new coach that comes in may not want to deal with just the percentage of the fan base that would go, why didn't you give the coaching job to him? Now, I'm not saying whether I would do that or not, or I agree with that, but hey, if you don't think that's being talked about, you got your head in the sand, because it's being discussed a lot, and there's a lot of people that are behind him, and I can understand why so many people are behind him, as good a job as he's done, thrown in the fire that he was thrown into 2 weeks ago. So, I don't know. It's a fun time to be sitting where you and I are. There's a lot of speculation that can go on. There's many that can go back to what we're about to say for the next couple of minutes and say, well, I thought that y'all said that this was going to happen. I thought that y'all said that that was going to happen. No, I'm telling you, Andy and I have no earthly idea what's going to happen. We can say the same things that you're hearing out there, and the things that we are hearing are Lane Kiffin is the hottest.
Is number one on the list.
Number one on the list. Maybe offers or under-the-table offers that are out there to at least be entertained by his agent, maybe not him, and expect that to possibly happen on the Sunday or the Monday following the Iron Bowl. That, I feel fairly confident, is rumoring around all over the interwebs and has some validity to it.
Yeah.
You feel good with that?
I think that's accurate. I mean, clearly you have an agent to take care of negotiations like this. The agent's not bound to any kind of, their talk can happen. Conversations take place. I don't know who is technically doing that for Auburn, but everybody's got feelers that they put out, and conversations are had. Like, say, now how much specificity is being talked about? Like, this is the years, this is the money, this is the control. This is our roster. All these kind of things. Now, Ole Miss got a couple of games they're still preparing for. You don't necessarily want a guy that would kind of, take time away from his schedule preparing for his team. So you want his agent, and I'm sure he knows all the ins and outs of it. So is that, how serious is it? I don't know. What point are we gotten to? I don't know, but clearly, things are. There is some movement one way or the other.
There's interest both ways.
There's interest both ways. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Now, is there interest from other places as well? I'm sure that there are. And if Lane doesn't work out, or if they can't come to some kind of understanding, they'll move on to the next person. I don't know who that would be, but I got a pretty good idea of 2 or 3 guys. So we got up against our first break here on the Auburn Blitz. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Concrete Basement and Walls LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls LLC.
No monthly payments until springtime at Glenn Smith in Opelika. How about a brand new Chevrolet Buick or GMC with no payments till springtime? New Chevy Equinox as low as $359 a month. New Buick Enclaves up to $4,000 off. New GMC Terrains up to $5,000 off.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you for about 45 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. We're brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate for all your real estate needs here in the Lake Martin area, as well as down there on the coast. Give them a call today, 551-BIG-FISH, or look them up, bigfishlakemartin.com. Aiden Holloway, another point guard, 4-star point guard, signs with Auburn. We had a question about that there the other day, I think. Did Auburn sign any players in the early signing period? Aiden Holloway from Napa, California. Auburn basketball, to some degree, I guess, has always been a national recruiter because, in basketball, you just, you're going to get guys from here or there and yon. Now, Australia, we went
That was a
far
stretch.
and wide a couple of times, but clearly Bruce Pearl is a national recruiter. We get guys from all over the place, and Auburn has become a destination-type place. But this guy is one of the better shooters, I think one of the better shooting point guards in the country. Number 28 overall prospect, number 5 point guard, number 6 in the state of California. So the beat goes on, right?
It is. It's amazing what he's done. Sound like a broken record, but let's talk about where this could help Auburn. One, we had a message thread going last night that I think I started with the thought of, please tell me Chance Westry can shoot the lights out of basketball.
And Chance Westry, good chance he plays tonight, but limited.
Auburn needs a shooter. Auburn had shooters when we made it to the Final Four. We've got guys that can get streaky, especially Wendell Green.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily call him a sharpshooter, like I would call Bryce Brown and Jared Harper at times. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
So we're hoping Westry can be. If he can, he's going to help this team. Alan Flanagan played outstanding. And if you get 10 to 12 points per game on average out of Alan Flanagan, we got a chance.
If you get 18, you can forgive the 5 turnovers.
You can forgive all of it. But if you can consistently get 10 to 12 out of him this year, that's going to be a giant leap from where we were last year. Don't know what's up with KD. Don't know what's up with Zep. Things aren't just clicking right at the moment. But we know what we're going to get with those two, and they're going to be productive. But we need a shooter. And so I'm hoping that this top 10 prospect from the state of California that's the number 5 point guard in the country can light it up, because Bruce Pearl does really well when he gets the right point guard, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, there's no question. And your guy, you talked about earlier, I think in the year, how much you like Trey Donaldson.
I do like him.
And I think he's going to work his way into the playing rotation even more and more. I think he's a formidable guy, and I think he can bring yet another scorer when things aren't working. And like you said, Zep Jasper and Katie Katie having 0 points against South Florida, that's got to be an anomaly. And, it kind of is what it is, and Zep just has not found the range yet this year. But it seems like everybody – I mentioned this yesterday, John I. Broome. I thought we'd be getting more from him on the offensive end, but for whatever reason, it just hasn't seemed to click yet. So But if there's one thing I trust Bruce, he's going to get it worked out, and I think it may take some time for this team to develop some chemistry, but it just doesn't seem like it's quite there yet.
When you legitimately have 8 to 9 guys that can go out there and get 10 points on any given night, it makes a night in and night out, gives you a chance. And I think Auburn's got a chance this year that even if, say, Jalen Williams has an off night and doesn't get his 8 or 10, that there's definitely someone that can pick up the slack and get their 8 or 10. And I'm hoping Westry can take I know he's going to play a mixture of positions, but we really need that two-guard position to start scoring the basketball. It's got a good feel this year about where Wendell Green is. I think he's going to give this to you a majority of the year. May have a few nights that's down, but I don't think you're going to have as many nights off with him as you had last year.
Hadn't seen him shoot from the AU yet.
No,
so that's good. Maybe he's reined that in a little bit.
But I feel,
granted, he made quite a few of them.
I feel a lot better about where we are at that position and the quality of his play on the court. I think I saw where his efficiency number is like 5th in the country right now. From his time on the court and how much it impacts the team overall. Wendell Green, 5th in the country from an impact standpoint. And I don't know where I saw that, and it may be completely made up, and it may have been during my one little seances that I'm having at one point in time. But nonetheless, I think he's really playing well, and we need that. But the recruiting that we're getting on the basketball front, second to none. I think we're just getting started. I know that's crazy to say, but I think we're just getting started at Auburn. I think it's going to become more of the norm, and as it becomes more of the norm, the guys that are going to be the senior classmen are going to be better players than what a few of ours are right now to go along with the diapered Andes that he's able to go out there and get. He's going to get over the hump. This team's going to win something special in the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I don't think that was Auburn's last trip to the Final Four.
No, I don't either.
I would definitely agree with that. Winthrop tonight, as we mentioned, Winthrop 2-1 on the year. Auburn 2-0, of course. They get hammered on the road at Penn State to open things up, 68-93. Come back and get a win at home against Piedmont and Middle Tennessee State. As I mentioned, last year 23-9, 14-2 in their conference. I looked. I think they got 5 guys that average double figures, but I would imagine. But it's after that. I mean, it's like the next guy averages 5, and then the next guy averages 0.1. So I mean, you got 5 guys, and that's what these teams are. You got 5 guys that are good, and I'm sure they are all play well together, and I'm sure they'll pass the ball really well and they'll shoot the ball really well. But Auburn's depth and their athleticism needs to kind of wear them down. I think that's what we're early right now until we figure out the offense. That's what's going to keep this team going.
They play in a conference that's very competitive. I've done a lot of work over there with my apparel business at Winthrop and High Point and some of those in that conference. And so visiting around and being at the colleges from time to time, I know how much they put into their basketball. It's kind of their thing. It's the thing that they're proud of. And at times over there, they can put a team together that you don't want to go play. So Winthrop's it's a good task for us overall.
Yeah, no doubt. Where is Winthrop located?
Winthrop is in North Carolina.
Okay,
I think so. Yeah.
Hope you get another break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new, convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. Just a few more segments left in today's show. We're brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. They are saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgages. They are closing loans in about 15 days. So if you got any kind of needs in that arena, by all means, go and check out Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. 256-397-0248. 256-397-0248. They are an award-winning business there. Been named Lender of the Year. I think Eric McKinley, I know this year probably even, I think it was even more than once, but Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. Talking about, there's some comments I wanted to get to. Who would y'all like to see the next head football coach at Auburn?
Shall I start?
We've gone over this. I'll let you reiterate.
I've said publicly and as loud as I possibly can.
Let me put this in there before you even say that. Nathan says, I think a hire like Deion Sanders could bring much needed flash to the football program. Can you imagine him and Bruce Pearl together? Dynamic duo.
He said it better than I can. He wrote it, so he put a little thought behind it. I'd like to see it be Deion. I think that you can't pay for the advertising and the marketing that guy will bring. Now, if all of you want to question his coaching ability, and he's only been a head coach for X number of years, and the ceiling may be extremely high, but the basement could be lower than the other options that you've got on the table, I can buy all those things, but I'm just telling you who I'd like to see. Yeah. To me, I'd get behind it. I think immediately it would be a major splash on the recruiting scene. I can't imagine that guy can't go out there in any high school here in this state and in this region and really anywhere in the country. And when he shows up on your campus, the buzz doesn't get as loud as it's ever been. And no part of me thinks the guy can't coach and can't put a staff together. I believe that he can do that also. So I'm going with Deion. Your thoughts? Now we've changed a little bit, Andy. You've gone back and forth.
I've gone back. I continue to say Kiffin, Freeze, and Sanders. I wouldn't be upset with any of the three. I think all three have their unique personalities. I think they all three bring something unique to Auburn. But, I try to look at it, and this is probably my fault as a human being, but I look at it, I try to think, well, okay, what's the negative? What's the worst, what's the worst scenario here as they end? If we hire Kiffin, and we have we have like an Al Davis situation. He's a liar.
USC.
We have to USC. We have to fire him on the tarmac. 4 years ago, I would have said I did say no to Kiffin. I said no to him vehemently, but just for what he did at Alabama, what he did at Florida Atlantic, what he has done at Ole Miss, I think he has grown as a person. Now, does he still have baggage? Absolutely, but I think he's grown as a coach. I could see the maturity in his coaching. I don't want to go for it on fourth down every time. I think that's something we could that may be a negative too. But he, if it goes, I think he's a good recruiter. I think he's a really, really good offensive coach. Now, what people need to realize, they never play defense. His teams never play good defense. So if Auburn hires him and we go out and score 49 points a game, but we give up 38, don't say, well, good grief. Why? I mean, you expect that coming in.
Beginning of the Gus Malzahn tenure.
Yeah. So now Deion, that one's the one that I'm afraid. But if it goes south with Kiffin, I think it'll be several years down the road, and it just we'll all just say, well, you know what, it just didn't work out. I think the same thing would be with Hugh Freeze. I think the likelihood that Hugh Freeze embarrasses the university is not nearly as high as a lot of people think it is. And if it doesn't work out, I think it's 7-8 years down the road, and we say, well, we weren't able to win the national championship. We weren't able to, win as many SEC titles as it was a Gus Malzahn kind of exit. If it goes bad with Deion, something tells me it's never going to be Deion's fault. If we lose a game, it's not going to be Deion's fault. It's all, Auburn can't do this, or Auburn's just a place where you can't do this. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, if that were to be the case. But it just seems like that's going. If it goes wrong with any of the three of them, that would be the one where it's going to be really, really ugly, and it's going to be really, really publicized. And I just don't want to have to go through. I don't want to have to go through it. But maybe it would work out phenomenal. I think there's probably just as much chance that it works out phenomenally, and Auburn's the toast of the town for the next 4 or 5 years.
Kiffin or Freeze, then?
I still think maybe for the dollar amount that it's going to take, and I still, probably foolishly, I actually take into account economics. I think Hugh Freeze is a more valuable. He is the better value. because you can get him for far less.
Okay. I haven't heard a lot on Freeze.
No.
I think that Freeze is sitting out there, and Auburn knows they can go get him. So at the end of the day, like any business negotiation, is who holds the leverage. And I told you coming into the program today that I feel like this one actually is 50-50.
Right.
I think there's mutual interest by both parties. I think that Lane Kiffin knows Auburn's going to pay what is needed to get him. I don't think that number needs to be $10 million a year, some crazy contract like Jimbo Fisher's got. I don't believe that that's needed here. But I do also think that Lane knows that there's a couple of other really good potentials for Auburn to fall back on that the fan base, which is just as important as everything else, the fan base would get behind. And, you know, the weird thing that's out there that I don't think anybody really saw a couple of weeks ago that's going to be a thorn in any of their coaches' side, depending on what they do, is what they do with Cadillac. The Auburn fan base is going to be, I'm gonna call it semi-irate if he's not put on the staff or put in a major position at the university that warrants what he's done the last couple of weeks and warrants what the fan base thinks of him.
I think that's true. I mean, it just makes too much sense if you're coming in, which would say to everybody, okay, you come in and you know all this and you still don't retain him, you're maybe not the smartest guy in the world and maybe not the guy we thought we were getting. Because, and that's, yeah, absolutely. I got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, Brubaker, Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you for about 20 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We are brought to you each and every day by Russell Dewitt Center. They got 10 locations around central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Dewitt Center today. Just some more comments. Nathan said, or Jamie said, he agrees with the hiring of Dion and how Dion and Coach Pearl would be just a dynamic duo. Look, I think Lane Kiffin and Pearl could be pretty good together, and I think they're buddies, and that would be good. But you're right, it would be magic. It'd be hard. How could you go wrong with those two on a marketing scale? But Kyle says, imagine the look on Kiffin's face when he was reviewing our roster and saw our offensive line. Mark says, if it's Kiffin, the Raptor Center needs to teach the Eagle to fly down and get the analytics book so he will quit making bonehead fourth down calls. Mike says, Lane can't be Nick.
I don't know. I don't know if he can or he can't. He hasn't proven that he can recruit to the level that Nick Saban can. I think he can coach. I think he may be a better X's and O's coach. I don't want to knock Nick Saban, but yeah. I'll tell you the one thing that separates Nick Saban from everyone else I've ever seen or looked in on is just internal culture of a program. He's the best at it.
Yeah.
He can lose them when they lose a few games. He's proven that. I'm not saying that he's perfect with it. But his players believe in a process, and he's preached that process, and I don't need to sit up here and say that. But I think to think that Lane Kiffin's going to ever get to the level that that man is when it comes to organization and culture, I've got my doubts as well.
Yeah, I think that's true. And the fact that he has built used to, I mean, it was just kind of, it was unheard of, really, that you could build a roster where you had, practically all 4 and 5 stars starting, and that you could sell to the other guys. Well, you just come here, bide your time.
Yeah.
And if you play one season, that'll be enough, and that'll get you to the NFL. That was not a selling point. That was a ludicrous argument to make, or a selling point to a recruit. He has made that a reality, and that is something I don't think we have ever seen in college athletics.
Agree. I think that it may have happened back in the day where you could go out there and bring in 50. I think I told you I had a long conversation with Bill Oliver one day, and Coach Oliver was telling me about how he came into Alabama and what it was like when he came into Alabama. He came in as a punter, but he actually came in on a scholarship for a different sport. Don't let me lie to you and tell you which one it was, but he was giving me this background. He's telling me how many came in that had the chance to play football with him when he came into Alabama. And he said, they go out there, and he said, I could run. They didn't know I really could run. That wasn't what they were even thinking about me for, but I go out there and I run well. And I ended up doing what I did. But he said, that never happens if if there's a limited amount of scholarships and I don't get that opportunity to go out there. So my answer to that is it may have happened back in the day where you could go out there and just recruit and bring kids on campus just to keep them away from your competition. But in today's world, I'm with you. And we sat up here for the first 3 or 4 years of Nick Saban recruiting at the level that he is and went, Luke, there's no way another linebacker can say that they're going to go to Alabama. Why would they not come? Why would Reuben Foster not come to Auburn? Tell me why in the world he'd make a decision to go over there and sit behind 3 or 4 potential pros and not play the first couple of years. Well, now what you just said has become reality, and it's not changing anytime soon.
No.
Georgia's the same way. Look, Georgia's defense lost how many pros? 5 or 6?
I was going to say 7. But
They've been 7, but I mean 5. You know, a lot of really good ones. Let's put it that way. And numbers-wise, they're just as good as this year. So they had to have them in the waiting, ready to come in and produce. So, and the transfer portal makes it easier all the way around.
Yeah, no, that's true, no doubt. Auburn can't be afraid to take the chance on Deion. We're a business now.
I think that adding that
Are we afraid to take a chance on Deion?
I don't know that we are. I think that there are some people that are in power that maybe, like Bruce Pearl, have a relationship with Lane Kiffin well enough to know what he brings to the table and feels really good about it. No different than Butch Thompson having the previous relationship with Cohen when he comes in as the athletic director. I think that there's some pieces that start to come together where you go, I can see where that's happening. So do I think I don't think so. I think he would be maybe the next option. I personally think he would be the next option before Hugh Freeze, and I think a lot of Auburn people would be really for it, including me. The thing that I think he mentions there that's so important is that it's more of a business today than it's ever been. It's an open business. It's not a cheating business.
Yeah.
It's a full-blown business. And you've got to go and raise a lot of funds. And Auburn's proven with this new facility that we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And our NFL funding has really gone, NIL funding has really gone up. And I think that that's very important to a coach that's coming in. Can I go out there and you offer what the others are going to be offering? I think better than anyone, Deion Sanders gets that fund up from an advertising standpoint higher than anyone else would. So, I mean, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm for Deion. I'm hoping that happens.
Okay. Well, if he's still on the list and, the first ones don't work out, again, Hugh Freeze and Deion Sanders, I think, if those are the fallbacks, then we're in a better position than we have ever been when it comes to hiring football.
Amen.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz. One final segment right after this.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. Just one final segment in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. John Cohen, in his press conference, he did a couple of things that, and again, I was not a big John Cohen guy. I was skeptical, but I will say that ever since he's been here, I like what we're doing so far. I watching his press conference, I thought it was very interesting that he went, out of his way to address the JABA, just Auburn being Auburn, and kind of turned that into, a positive, and talked about, so many of the great things associated with Auburn. Now, he said, I'm going to use the F word, the fit. Mm-hmm. When it comes to fit with this university, we were talking during the break. You bring something up. Auburn, I don't know. I'm not around other universities. It doesn't seem like it's nearly as prominent as it is at Auburn. But there is a Christian personification at Auburn. That's the way it's been for as long as I can remember.
Yes.
I mean, Jay Jacobs was he's a big, Christian guy. Gus Malzahn, never cussed. Big Christian guy. Gene Chizik was, big religious guy.
Tommy Tuberville
brought Chet Williams into the program. Carnell Williams said he's the glue of the program. This has been Bruce Pearl, outspokenly religious. Whether you like it or not, and I've heard people say this, and I've even maybe said this in passing at a time or two, we're hiring a football coach, not a minister, not a preacher. We don't, and we need to be more concerned with that. But when it comes to fit, that is part of Auburn. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth.
Well, once you get away from, like if you ask an outsider what their perception is of anything, whether it be a business, a person, or an athletic team, once you get outside of those parameters that person would throw out there in the first couple of statements, you're missing a culture. you're missing it. And what Auburn did going out and hiring Brian Harsin was just about as poorly thought through as you possibly could be. I just told you this during the break. I said, let's just add a few things together. And everybody's got their opinion on Deion Sanders. And by the way, everybody's got their opinion on Hugh Freeze. I know when they're in front of a mic, they're passionate about their belief in Christ, and they say it, and they don't mind saying it, and they're blunt about it. And when you watch Cadillac right now, you know, he's had a lot of really good moments speaking. But when he about started crying because he got 8 saved on Friday night before they play at Mississippi State, if you don't think a lot of Auburn fans didn't get behind that, then you're crazy. You're just nuts. They did. And we all know what Chet Williams has meant to that program. And what Carnell says goes back to not only he, but a lot of other players that have been there, that have gone through this program and have gone through the Chet Williams tutelage, and they believe in it, and they know what it's done for them. And I know too many of them, several of them here from Ellick City, that say the same thing. So can you imagine a few of these candidates there? Honestly, have you watched Deion Sanders? Just put a camera in front of him. You may have your own opinion of Deion Sanders, and you may say that it's a farce by him. But I'm telling you what comes out of his mouth. And I believe what he's saying. I think the good Lord got to him, and he changed his life for the better. I truly believe that. And you add him and Chet Williams and Carnell Williams together. Can you imagine the bonus that you get within the program, not only the football? I think it could be special. I'm going to stick with that. I think what you said is exactly right. You got to know who you are, and you got to know what your culture is, and you got to know what you believe in. It's like Auburn going to a pass happy Hal Mummy offense. You think that's a fit? Auburn fans don't want that.
No.
They don't. They won't run the football. I'm telling you, we'd like to throw it for more than 60 yards that we did on Saturday night. But there ain't nobody upset about Carnell saying, I'm about to run this ball down your throat. People love that. And that's because that's who we are, and I think that's the passion behind the program. And I think you bring up a good point. I don't know that Auburn fans are going to like no defense. I'm not as big. I'm not on this Kiffin train. I'm not. I think the safest hire is probably Hugh Freeze. I think the best hire, long-term, and the best hire, ceiling-wise, is Deion Sanders. That's just my opinion. Others have their own.
I mean, it's hard to argue, but I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, you could argue that Lane Kiffin's not a great fit at Auburn, but I don't know that. I've not spent any time around him.
Me neither. No,
I don't know exactly, but I think you knew within about 10 minutes that Brian Harsin was not a good fit at all.
Had a real good idea. I mean, did you ever hear him up in front of a mic say the things that meant something to you? Did that ever come out of his mouth other than culture and just the same old, same old? I'm telling you, in today's world, you better be primed. These people are trained. There are trained people that can get up there and speak culture and belief and mission and vision and all this leadership crap. That's what I'm going to call it. But if there is no substance behind all of this leadership jargon that comes out of people's mouth, then you better watch out. And Brian Harsin was best at that. He just talked and talked and talked. And at the end of the day, none of it had any, bearing behind it. So, and it played its way out really quick.
Yeah. That's the truth. It is November the 15th. How about C.W. McCall? We got ourselves a convoy.
I don't know that. I know the song, but I didn't know that too.
Yeah, it's C.W. McCall. Ed Asner, Lou Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Whitman Mayo?
Mm-mm.
Grady from Sanford and Son.
Wow.
He came to Russell one time.
Did he?
Yeah. He was like a guest star. Yaphet Kotto. Running Man? You ever seen The Running Man? No. He was the bad guy in Live and Let Die.
James you know Bond, every movie.
Couple. I know a couple. Annie Freed, I'm going to go with Lynn Stott, one of the founding members of Auburn.
I mean, you're bringing up all these crazy names.
Beverly D'Angelo?
Macho Man Randy Savage out of it. You're not even going to bring him up.
The Macho Man Randy Savage. born on this day and left us way too early, 2011. Greg Anthony, good player at UNLV.
Great player.
Got in a little trouble.
Along with many others.
How about Chad Kroger, the lead singer of Justin Clayton's favorite band, Nickelback? And I mean, it's like fish almost with him. He travels around all over the place following Nickelback everywhere they go.
He's about to throw darts at you as soon as he
And Carl Anthony Towns, world this day. It's going to wrap it up for us. He's Randy. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk to you.